So about a week or so ago, I did a video about this East Coast TL Deluxe guitar, which is, if you haven't seen the video, it's basically a really cheap but surprisingly nice guitar. It's about £140 from Andertons, but I actually really like it, and I'm planning on using it for a gig that I've got on Saturday with my band King Atomic. But before I use it for a gig, there's a few things on it that I want to address. So the first thing is the tuners. They're just kind of like your cheap, kind of standard Chinese tuners. They're not too bad, to be fair. I've definitely seen worse tuners on guitars in this kind of price range, but I am going to upgrade those. And then the other thing is the saddles. I'm going to swap the saddles with some vintage style brass saddles, and I'm hoping doing the tuners and the saddles will just kind of help with tuning stability and intonation. I don't want to have to be like tuning up in between every song, so yeah, I'm hoping that should help with that. And then the other thing, which I probably won't have time to do before Saturday, but at some point I will also upgrade the nut to a bone nut or a Graphtec nut, because I do plan on using this as a gigging guitar. So it's only got like a cheap plastic nut on at the moment, but yeah, when I've got a bit more time, I'll put a bone nut or a Graphtec nut on there as well. So I've fitted these Vanson brass saddles. They only cost around £10, so you know they're probably one of the easiest and cheapest mods that you can do for any Telecaster if it hasn't already got brass saddles. They just help with tuning stability, intonation, and then tone wise, to my ear, they make the sound a little bit brighter and a little bit more lively. I don't know if that's just me or if that's like a placebo thing. But on both of my Telecasters that I've put these brass saddles on, that is the effect that it seems to have. And then I've upgraded the tuners to these Wilkinson lock-in tuners. I'm not sure if you can see them on there. I'll probably put a close-up of those. But yeah, again, these weren't super expensive, but they're a considerable upgrade to the previous tuners. And lock-in tuners for me are a must on any of my gigging guitars, or just any of my guitars in general really. I tend to upgrade to lock-in tuners if they don't already have them, just because they make string changes so much easier. If worse comes to worse on a gig, if I break a string and I need to replace it, I can do that so much quicker with lock-in tuners compared to like the traditional tuners. And obviously upgrading them, you know, these are just better quality, more accurate, more stable. So yeah, so to answer the question, can you gig a £140 guitar? Well, obviously you can. No one's gonna come and stop you. But like, to be honest, gigging this on Saturday, it stayed in tune fine. I had to tweak the E string once. But you know, I've had to do that on any of my guitars. I'm not putting that down to it being a cheap guitar. That's just kind of one of those things. You know, but it played really well. It sounded great. You know, at no point during the gig did I think like, oh, why have I chose this cheap guitar to play? I wish I hadn't done this. You know, it played just as well as any of my other guitars. Now, obviously, I've upgraded the tuners, I've upgraded the saddles, so you know, it's not like, obviously I'm not just playing it straight out of the box, but even so, it's a cheap guitar with a couple of cheap modifications. But I think really it's a testament to the quality of a lot of these budget guitars that are coming out, you know, especially more recently, compared to guitars of the same price point from even like 10 years ago. Guitars now are just so much better quality. You know, you really get a lot more for your money. So yeah, I'd say you can definitely gig a £140 guitar. That's not to say it's anywhere near as good as my Fender Strat or anything like that. But it's, you know, it's a perfectly gig worthy guitar, and it's a guitar that I'm also not going to be worried about getting stolen or, you know, getting damaged, you know, too much, because it's only cheap. But yeah, it's a nice guitar though, so I'd say definitely, you know, it's definitely a giggable guitar, and I will be gigging it more as well in the future. Like I say, I'll probably do a bone nut upgrade, and then further down the line as well, I might upgrade the pickups as well. But yeah, if the guitar didn't play as nice as it did, then I wouldn't even consider upgrading the pickups. But because it genuinely plays well, and it plays nice, you know, I would even consider the pickups a worthy upgrade on this guitar. So yeah, that's about all there is to say really, I think. So thanks for checking out the video, hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously feel free to like, subscribe, check out any of my other videos as well, and yeah, hopefully see you next time.